Welcome to the Geek and I podcast. My name is John. We are joined again by my cohort in crime, Mr. Jeff Dickinson. Jeff, how are you, sir?
Doing killer, man. How's it going?
Good. Before we get going tonight, I need to ask Jeff for something very, very special. Please promise that you will not get mad at me. Don't get annoyed. I know you got a great sense of humor, so I'm going to request in advance parlay. So let's get the show started. This is the Geek and I Wednesday.
Highlight your Memorial Day weekend with a special cookout and stock up on everything you need at Winn-Dixie.
Start with juicy WD brand steaks like these. Buy U.S. Choice boneless Delmonico steaks for just $2.99 a pound.
If a store is to make a profit in the face of today's stiff competition, everyone in it must give his full effort. But like any battle,
in Japan, the hand can be used like a knife. But this method doesn't work with a tomato. That's why we use the Ginsu.
Give up my Atari? My television?
How about for this?
You bet your asteroid.
You enjoyed the brand new intro. Hopefully Jeff isn't going to be too mad at me with his beach ball body looks. Tonight we're going to be going over a comic book day. We got a couple of news stories for you. And some surprises. This is the Geek and I. So what'd you think?
Well, no comment. But yeah, that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, man.
How long ago was that, actually?
That was literally 1985. I would say, well, basically, all right. Well, here's the deal. I was wanting to become a model for Dillard's because Dillard's would have these people who would model clothing. And they wanted a picture. And so I went to Radio Shack and I had that Radio Shack ball. So, being a geek and hanging out at Radio Shack, I got that beach ball. So I thought it was a good idea to have that. And that, I don't know, man. It is. I did become a model. Let's put it that way.
Who took the picture for you?
My mom. She was trying to help me become a model. She, I did the dress up thing kind of thing, and
Well, I mean, it is very 80s. Who was that? Yeah, it's very 80s. It's very Burt Reynolds, very Tom Selleck.
Those were the guys.
Yeah, they were the guys that everybody wanted to be, and the girls wanted to be
shorts were short.
So. Yeah, so that's a special peek into the life of Jeff Dickinson. Maybe we'll get some more sneak peeks coming along in the future. So how
now it's out there on the web. Thanks, man.
You posted it on Facebook, so
private. No, joking. Well, I probably I know. I posted it amongst my friends, and you're my friend, so therefore, no big deal, dude. I mean, my
Everybody's
mom
a
was just
friend. Everybody's a friend of Jet Dickinson. So what have you been doing this week? How's the week treating you?
not too shabby, man. Just score some new games, playing some new games, and just went live today on a new YouTube channel. So that's in development.
Very cool.
It's,
Very cool. So I scored some stuff over the weekend.
oh yeah.
We were down in Plano, near your old haunts, and we went to Madness Games and Comics.
I love that place, man.
Yeah, I knew it was comic book day, but it didn't register with me how busy it would be.
Yeah.
The place was, there was like 200 people in it.
It gets crazy.
It was packed from front to back. They had podcasters there with their tables and their cameras and their, I guess, broadcasting live. And they were like, I didn't realize how they would have it set up, because you walk to the back and there was 2 or 3 tables full of comic books. And
for free.
I said to the girl that was at the front of the table, I said, what is this? Because there was also people there signing autographs and signing merchandise and action figures and stuff like that. So I didn't know if these were, you would get them here and take them over to the tables to get signed by the artists and have to pay. But,
you have to pay for the autograph and you have to pay for the item.
Yeah,
but that's how it worked for me, because I've been there like a little over a year for that. I went to one year before that. So when you mentioned it, Comic Book Day, I totally forgot about it. But that place gets rocking and really cool. That podcaster thing now, that wasn't there the last time I was there. And I was pretty much the only one shooting video. So I guess that developed over the last year. Right.
So I had asked the girl at the counter, I was like, what's going on here? And she was like, well, it's free Comic Book Day, and you can choose whichever comics you like. And there was a sign that said, please limit yourself to 5 comics.
Oh, cool. I said it was 3 the last time I went. You can only get 3.
Yeah, this was 5. And since I had my grandson with me, she leaned over and said, just grab whatever he wants.
Yeah. They're real cool about that.
I have a stack.
Free comics, right? All free.
And these are going to go home with him when his visit is over.
Nice.
So there's 1 or 2 that I might keep for myself. But
when you go through them, tell us.
We have Spidey and His Amazing Friends. That has
these are all new comics coming out, right?
I don't know. I don't know how they work this, what kind of promotion they're looking for, but he enjoyed this one. This one has like 3 different stories in it.
Okay.
So I read that to him the other night, and it's the first time he sat on my lap and did not squirm for 30 minutes. It was great. So then we got him this one. He loves these guys.
The Turtles.
So we got Turtles, featuring Rise of the Turtles. And then
they're branching off on the new storyline with that, so I won't be surprised if that's what that's about.
We got Dogman and the League of Misfits, which
never heard of that.
Yeah, well, if you can look at it, it looks like
a child drawed it.
Well, not only that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a It's like a ripoff of Captain Underpants.
Yeah. Right now, there's someone ripping off our podcast doing this.
Well, if you're ripping off this podcast, please stop and get some help. Seek professional help. So then he wanted this one. I don't know what that.
About?
I don't know. We haven't gotten into. We haven't gotten into this one yet.
I always like to flip through them just out of curiosity.
And then there's
Smurfs.
I guess that's supposed to be 65th anniversary of the Smurfs. Are they really 65 years old?
Well, it came out in the 80s. This is the 23. Let me do some math here. I got a calculator.
Smurfs anniversary, building happiness since 1958.
50s?
1958.
I thought they came out in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I remember. You know, the cartoon on probably was a Saturday morning, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's pretty neat. I don't know if you can see. You got Gargamel.
Yeah, hasn't aged since the 80s.
Only now me and Gargamel have the same haircut.
You just need to get the robe.
Yeah.
There's your cosplay.
And then we got this one.
Oh, that's cool. I would want one of those. Did you get two of those?
No.
Or
That's the one. He also wanted that one. He
no
likes
doubt.
He likes Nightmare Before Christmas. And then
Kid's got good taste.
We got Ranger Academy.
Is that take on
'Cause he
Power
likes-
Rangers?
Yeah, he likes the Power Rangers. I mean, like you said, he's got for a 3-year-old, he's got good taste in comics. And then
You've been showing them 80s stuff, aren't you?
So I think he got this one because this one is from what I understand the best comic ever. So he wanted this one. So he liked the cover on that one.
Yeah.
And then there's one this one here is like a 2-in-1 back to front comic. So we have the front is Clark and Lex. I don't know what that is. I thought that might be. I guess it is. It's a young Superman graphic novel. So I guess that's Clark Kent and Lex Luthor
Okay.
there. And then the other side is Bruce Wayne, not super.
So how you read it? You read one page over the other, and then when you get to the
And
end,
then
you read the
and
other
then
page back?
you flip it over,
So
or maybe
okay.
that's just the back cover.
Because I was going to say, if that's
And-
going to be a misprint,
Yeah,
I've seen some misprint comic books for free before. I'm like going, okay,
but then
this doesn't make sense.
Then it's this one on the inside. So I guess it's Batman as a kid in the suburbs. I don't know.
Back when he had parents.
And then
good
this
old
is
days.
another one. This is another one that's backwards. Because the barcode is on what would normally be the front, but then this is the back cover.
Huh.
So I don't know if this is like
I wonder if they're misprints. They're just
if you
giving
read
those
it
away.
backwards. Yeah, I don't know.
Thinking some of those misprints could be worth some money right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
not-
know how this one works. I mean, that's the front. Well, it's normally the front, and then you have this is normally the back page.
Huh.
So I don't.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how that one works.
You might Google that later.
And then we have this one. This is I grabbed one of these Marvel Voices.
What's that?
I guess it's all. It looks like it's got Shang-Chi and Spider-Man and Lady Spider-Man and X-Men. It says #1. And then when you look on the inside, there's what is it? Ironheart. She's
I can't really see.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember Ironheart.
There she is right there.
Is that a new character or an old character they're redeveloping?
I guess it's a character is, I guess she's kind of like Tony Stark, but a kid, and she builds her own Iron Man. And
see, I've read old school comics, but I don't remember her. And it might be one of those new spin-off things, Disney likes to do.
Well, there is going to be an Ironheart TV series. So, and then we have this one.
Hell yeah. I love that game.
That one's pretty cool.
Yeah. Everybody's turning video games into movies and TV shows, and now, of course, comics. Can see that one coming.
And then I have the last 4 are the ones that I wanted.
Nice.
So there's that one, Conan, and I don't know if this is like.
You can get Arnold Schwarzenegger to sign it. There you go.
I mean, the artwork in this is pretty cool.
Graphic novels are a lot different than what we grew up with.
Yeah.
And they're more expensive too, that's for sure.
And then Spider-Man Venom.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then the Uncanny Avengers.
I've never heard of that. Uncanny Avengers?
Well, I think it wasn't the isn't that what the title of the X-Men comics were? The Uncanny X-Men?
Oh man, I don't remember.
So I guess this is now you have the
new version.
Yeah, you have the X-Men in I think there's Cyclops. And then the final one,
supposed to be making a new X-Men movie too.
Is there? Yeah.
Well, there's one in development, but it's been kicked around for a couple of years now. But they want that girl who, what was her name? She plays Barbie now. There's a new movie she's doing.
Right. Yeah.
Margot
Robbie.
Robbie, I like that. She's a good actress, but they're trying to put her in it. So who knows?
Fantastic Four, not the X-Men.
Oh, was it?
They want her to be Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four. So, and then only because Picard came out, I picked up this one, and I started looking at it. This one's pretty neat.
So that is a comic book based off a spinoff of what happened at the end of Picard, maybe?
No, it looks like a new story.
Oh, okay.
And then inside it has some Lower Decks stuff, which I started to watch with my grandson, and I had to turn it off.
Dude, I couldn't get past the first episode, and I was like, okay, let's check it out. Because when I was a kid, after Star Trek was in reruns, they started doing those cartoons with the original voice actors of William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and all that. And even those cartoons got a little strange. But yeah, Lower Decks, I had high hopes. And
yeah, well, it wasn't the quality.
No, it was a storyline. It was too goofy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be that way. But the language, it's not for kids. So we're going to try Prodigy next. Because I'm trying to get
that
into
was
Star
supposed to be
Trek.
more kid friendly. The Prodigy one, and that's with the Janeway's character coming back on.
Yeah. We haven't tried
So
that one yet. And that
I think
one's,
they took the concept of Lost in Space, but with Star Trek. So like kids are lost in space in a starship. I think that was
maybe
the premise.
that sounds familiar. I don't know. So, well, that's what I scored at Free Comic Book Day
Nice haul.
Saturday. It is, yeah. It's a pretty nice. I mean, nothing I'm gonna ever retire off of, unless, like you said, these three are backwards and misprints, and I don't.
Never know.
Then everybody that went down to the store has one.
Except for that's not national. Because sometimes, because I was talking to him about that last time I was there, and I said, "Where do you get these comics?" They said, "Well, they give us these to give away to promote their other stuff they're doing, and kind of like, here, check this out, and if you like it, there's stuff in there to refer you to other things." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh,
And
you know what?
I was only limited to 3. They had a lot of people, so they said, "We would like you to only take 3, please." I'm like, "No big deal. I found the 3 I liked, and that was it."
Yeah, now that you mentioned, I know Dave from the Cantina Happy Hour.
Mm-hmm.
He was allowed to get 5.
Yeah, that's cool. And then after Comic Book Day, you go back. They have what they didn't give away still on the counter, and you can peruse that. Because that happened because I went back 2 days later because I had ordered a figure, and then they said it came in, and when I went back, there was like, "Oh, you still got comics?" Like, "Yeah, take as many as you want." But they were all like one. They're like 2 or 3 of all the same. They're like, they got a lot that people didn't want to pick up. So
that was my haul.
And you had fun,
So,
right?
yeah, it was fun. He enjoyed it. He thought it was amazing to get free. Anytime anybody gives him free something, doesn't matter what it is, he goes crazy for it. It could be a dirty napkin. If somebody gave it to him, he'd be like, "Oh, I got a napkin." So
the miracle of life, free stuff.
that's it. Everybody likes free stuff. So how are you taking this writer's strike?
I'm glad because me as a writer and have friends in the industry, I understand. If you're not getting paid for your work and things, because everything changes now, because all the streaming shows that wasn't existing back when the original writer strike happened in 2000, I think 7 or something like that. It was early 2000s, but basically they were renewing their deals for what current technology is allowing them to write for. And now the streaming movies and TV shows are under a lot different contract than they originally had. So yeah, you got to pay those people. That's their creativity they're given each and every time they're in a project. And I agree with them. I mean, you got to back these people up. But the AI thing is something, it's going to get weird. And the AI is going to write stuff like how we played with it on the channel. It's morphing. And eventually we don't have to worry about the writer strike. We just have to worry about Terminators.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because I think I saw a video where somebody within 30 seconds with, I guess, the new version of Chat GPT wrote a follow-up Star Wars movie in like 45 seconds. And it's actually pretty good. So,
and it's only getting, the more stuff you give it, and the more stuff it works itself out, the more deeper it gets. It's a rabbit hole, man. So the story's good at this point, and just give it some more time, give it more input, and it'll start building on those characters. And it's amazing. I mean, it's great technology, but for people who write for a living, songs or jingles or scripts, it's going to mess with them. That's the reason why, we got to figure out if we could use AI intelligence to create stuff like that. Are we going to either X out the human factor, or are we going to keep the human factor in to improve AI? So it all depends how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
What do you think about all that?
I don't know. It's like you say, it's one of those things where, because I was watching other videos, and people were saying that the AI is only as good as the information you put into it. So
Yep.
people are writing, their college thesis with it, and they're getting wrong information. It's kind of like Wikipedia, where anybody can go in and change anything, because I remember one time on Wikipedia, one of the radio stations that I worked at did not have my 7 p.m. to midnight show listed. And we were one of the most popular shows on the channel, on the station. And what had happened was somebody went in afterward and deleted it. So the guy that did 7 to midnight after we left, he went in and deleted it. So
the jealousy factor.
well, what are you going to do? I mean, it was years and years ago. It's not going to
So
get me
did you
a
go
job.
back and fix it and delete his stuff?
I got lucky that I was able to figure out how to use the darn thing the first time around. But I couldn't figure out how to,
Excuse me.
how to change Wikipedia again. It was one of those weird things where I just stumbled into it and never was able to figure out, because I wrote this whole long paragraph about the show, and I guess somebody didn't like it. So
I know for me at Wikipedia, because I do a lot of fact finding in my Google, and so I take Wikipedia with a grain of salt. What they're usually correct on is release dates, just the dates themselves, and also some of the main factors, like like Nintendo started doing this on this date, and for these platforms, and then those are usually correct, like 99.9. But some of the information within that is not 100%.
yeah, and I saw you got I don't know. I don't want to say an argument, but
No, I was messing with them.
well, you know which one I'm
that's
talking
why
about,
I don't
right?
have that's why I don't have my comments on my YouTube channel, because I want people to enjoy the video. If you like it, you like it. You don't. It's no big deal. It's like take it or leave it kind of thing. I want to have a discussion about it. It's not what this is about. But on my Facebook, because of either my friends or the people who are just happening upon the Collector Zone Facebook page, I get weird goofballs, and they're like, well, where's your information source? So I go, I got this really cool book because I'm really happy about the book, and that's what I'm doing, sharing information I'm learning in the book. That because I'm not good about remembering dates and times and how many units sold kind of thing. Someone else did all that research and made a book on it, and of course they have to a book's being published by a major publisher. You can't go too wrong, especially when it comes to video games, because there's too many video game nerds out there that knows those kind of facts. So those facts you can't really screw up. It's just personal input, and I think these guys, there's two of them, I think it was, they were trying to, have a little fun. I took it as fun. They're probably serious. So yeah, I started messing with them a little bit, and it kind of just came to a halt there.
Yeah, because I saw somebody you put in there. As he asked you where your information came from, and you're like, well, I have this book of video games, volume 2,
right,
and Wikipedia.
And I threw Wikipedia in there just to jack with them, because I know Wikipedia. See, because people, common sense, man. Wikipedia is not a source of information. It's a, take it what it is and figure out what's true and what's not true. Everybody's common knowledge. So when I threw Wikipedia in there, I said, let's have a little fun since they're, wanting to know info.
Right. Yeah, because that was one of those. I was like, did you not read the sentence beforehand that it says he's got the video game Bible, basically,
yeah.
and you're going after him because he used Wikipedia?
No, it was funny is that I was like, I was putting the book and being serious, and then I stopped myself like going, hey, I wonder why these guys are asking such a dumb question. Because if they follow my channel and they're hitting the like button on the Facebook page, they know where I'm about. So it's like, I just put it on Wikipedia, little giggles. And I was going to put a little, like a smiley face or whatever, but I didn't do that because I want to come out straightforward, flat out. This is what happened, man. And just to see what they'll do. As an outsider, when you read it, you can take that both two ways. If you don't know me, you'll take it one way. If you do know me, you already know what's going on.
Right. Well, I mean, it was just one of those things where I was like, come on, dude. It's like saying, oh, well, I got my grandmother's recipe and I got something off of Food Network. And like, oh, you use Food Network? You use your grandma's recipe? Nobody knows that. It's ridiculous. So
there are stupid people out there all the time, man. I keep on running those stupid people and assholes. And I don't know why God put them on the world, except for our amusement. I swear. It's for our amusement. I
could say something, but it would get me in trouble, and I get a lot of those stupid people comments and the
You're amongst friends. Go ahead.
I don't know. Which way do you vote? So as far as the writer's strike, there are a few cancellations because of it.
I'm waiting for the big movie to drop. But, is it Marvel? Will it be DC? No, they were doing that before the strike. Never mind.
Well, I'm talking about streaming shows because the things that stopped is the TV production. Anything that's like feature film, it's most of the stuff for this year is either finished or in post production, so it really doesn't have an effect. It's actually going to affect next year, but there are a lot of things this year, I think a lot of the Marvel shows are postponed because they write them like almost right up to where they start filming. And the one that stuck out at me was this one, was Andor season 2.
Yep.
So I guess they had started. They had started writing it and started filming.
What happened was, I heard Kathleen Kennedy talk about in Star Wars days. That's all stuff that they're working on the scripts, get with the actors, and trying to finalize, when they can start shooting it. And the writer's strike does mess with that because a lot of storylines are not finished up to where when they put their money in there, is it going to go well? And everybody knew Andor sequel, well, season 2, I mean, and like Obi-Wan season 2 is going to happen. I mean, it got too big. But that writer strike thing with major studios like Disney and Sony and all that, Warner Brothers, a lot of projects were up and running and get ready to finalize and start getting the ball rolling, and all those came to a screeching halt.
Yeah, and this is the one streaming show I was looking forward to because everything else has been other than Picard season 3, everything else has been crap.
You didn't like Obi-Wan?
Oh my gosh, that was so bad.
No, it was excellent.
You're kidding, right? I mean, it was like a comedy series. It was like Monty
it was really
Python.
good. Dude,
okay.
Darth Vader comes back and he's badass, man. Oh, come on. You don't like that?
Well, no. Okay. Because, I mean, it was just ridiculous. Like he's trying to get through the force field on the, after the troop he rides with, they ride with the troops in the back of that Jeep, and they get to the force field, and he can't figure out that if I just go down that way 10 feet, I can go around the laser barrier. He's got I mean, it was ridiculous. But, yeah, that looks like Andor's going to be shut down. It says Andor creator, showrunner Tony Gilroy says he's ceased all non-writing production duties on the Disney Plus series amid the WGA strike. Quote, I discontinued all writing and writing-related work on Andor prior to midnight, May 1st. So.
Let's see how long it lasts.
Yeah, how long do you think that'll last?
Don't know. I mean, how long did it last time? Because that happened in the.
I don't remember actually. When was that? Was that in the 80s?
No, the last writer's strike was in I like to say it's 2007. That's sticking in my brain for some reason, but that's I don't remember how long it lasted. I just know it was a while.
Yeah, I don't.
The one you're thinking about was probably in the 90s, because when the writer's strike happened back then, they started doing reality shows. So we got a lot of reality shows out of that last writer's strike, because they started doing like Big Brother and Survivor and that kind of thing. And
so is that
those
where...
things were.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I guess that's where Survivor came from.
Yeah. Well, CBS, they had it was the summertime. I think it was before the summertime, I think. And they had shows that was produced weekly, because everything was on a weekly, they would shoot the show, put it in the can, and then shoot the next week's show the following week. So what you're watching is 1 week behind, because they're doing it almost in real time. And then when that writer's strike happened back at that point, I just remember, there's an awful lot of these reality shows coming up. And that's my first exposure to reality shows. Like, I watched stuff from England too. And they were taking shows that was out in England, like the Big Brother, as a science experiment. That's what a social science experiment over in England. And they adapted to for us here in America, just because they had to have something on air. And that's when all the reality, and then the reality shows went crazy, dude.
Yeah, what do we have? We got the Mole. Do you remember the Mole?
Yeah, that was weird. But the one I liked the most was that where you had Not to Tell a Lie, I think it was called, or something like that, where you had one person in a hot seat asking these very intimate questions about their relationship, and they had their family and usually a husband or boyfriend on the corner side. And it's how much money you want to make by giving up on how much truth you want to tell. And relationships were screwed up, man.
I don't remember that one. What was it? What was the name of it?
I think it says Don't Tell a Lie or The Liar or something like that. But I just remember they said the premise of the show was, we could put someone in the hot seat and ask them some very intimate questions. If they could tell the truth based upon, what we have information on, how far would they go? And chicks were messing around their husbands. I mean, they're coming clean to get more money. So it was a greed factor versus honesty. And let me see if I can Google it here. Let's see here.
Because I remember Survivor. I remember... So I think Survivor was 2001, the first season.
Yeah, Survivor came out with Big Brother around the same time. I think they were back-to-back shows So you saw one point, and you saw the next one next.
And then there was the Amazing Race.
Yeah, the Amazing Race came a little bit later, but yeah. Okay.
And then all those dating shows. The Bachelor and Love, what is it? Love Island or Love Hotel or
I found it.
Paradise Island.
Yeah, that's. I don't get into a lot of reality shows, but if there's some that pique my interest, like I'm a Big Brother fan because I like social experiments, and Survivor was, yeah, if you get dropped off at island, and they're literally got the camera crew right there, probably eating better than the guys in front of them, like a sandwich, and they're there eating with a coconut or something. But yeah, it's called The Moment of Truth, and it was came out in. It was a 60-minute show, came out on Fox. And it says, The Moment of Truth is an American game show based on the Colombian show, because once again, taking an idea from another country.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a format of nothing but the truth. So you got to tell the truth to get money. And contestants answer a series of 21 increasingly personal and embarrassing questions to receive cash prizes. And it was hosted by Mark L. Wahlberg. So Mark Wahlberg hosted it. It's not the same Mark you're thinking about.
I like him. I think he's a great host.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. He does Paradise Hotel or Paradise Island.
Yeah, he's a host guy. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the name of that show
it ran for 1 year from January 23rd, 2008 to August 8th, 2009. And it was they ordered February 1st, 2008. They ordered additional 13 episodes, bringing the episode count to 23. But it was supposed to be a Fox Fall lineup, but was pushed back to make room for their new game show, Hole in the Wall, which I never heard of. But yeah, it was really cool to watch people destroy their relationships for greed. that's what got me interested. Like,
well, that's the same as what's that dating show where they split? That's the one that Mark Wahlberg hosts.
From the 60s. Oh
no! Where you go to the island with your girlfriend, and then they put the guys in this cabana, and they put the girls in this cabana, and then they're
all hotter than you.
They get 10 hot girls that are better than your girlfriend, and then 10 hot guys that blow you out of the water, and then they send them out on their dates and stuff. I can't remember what the name of that show is.
It's probably called "Let's Screw Up These Guys' Life."
Well, that's usually what ends up happening. But one of my favorites.
Temptation should be called.
That's it. Temptation Island. Yep.
No,
that was it.
I was just joking around.
Yeah,
really?
no, that was it.
Oh,
Temptation
Lord.
Island. Yeah.
Where's my daddy cash for that ideal? Damn it.
Yeah. So the other one that I really liked was Joe Millionaire. Have you ever seen Joe Millionaire?
I saw Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Regis Philbin.
No, Joe Millionaire was just a normal guy. He could be like a truck driver, tow truck driver, or work at the supermarket. But they put him up in a big mansion and told all the girls that he's a multimillionaire. Gave him, staff and limos and fancy cars and private jets, and he had to pick which girl he thought was for him, and they wouldn't know that he's piss broke. So
they'll take a sanitation worker, throw him in a lifestyle of the rich and famous,
right?
Pretty much putting lipstick on a pig, and let's see what happens.
That would be it. Yeah. It was pretty good. It was fun to watch the first time. But then,
now, how they ended? Like they relieved them.
I don't think I ever got to the ending of the season. So
no, I'm just saying it's like I was curious. Did they don't tell them until after the show's ended?
No,
because they have recaps sometimes. The show will go through, and then months later you'll do a follow-up recap. So your last show of the episode will be a recap of what happened 3 months usually later of what the show took place in.
Well, no, he would choose a girl and then they would break it to him that he's a nobody.
Yeah.
And if it was true love, then they'd stay together, or she would slap him and walk off.
Come on, man. Chicks are greedy. They want that mansion and they want to be taken care of and the easy life. I knew chicks like that. I know chicks like that. They're not
Yeah, they're not your friends?
well, they are, but I just kind of like, really? You want to do that? I'm not going to say names, but just to say this. You got a person in a good relationship and, things are going well. And I said, you know what? You're doing good. And then she goes, but this guy, man, he's wealthy. He's a CEO and, he's doing this and that. And life is easier. And I said, I get the life is easier part, but where's the love? She goes, well, you can buy love, apparently. It's like, damn. Yeah.
So, speaking of love, what are you doing? What are you doing September 6th, 2024?
I don't know, man. I'm lucky to figure out what I'm doing next week.
Have you seen, what do you think about this?
Oh, yeah. Now, that I'm taking two different ways because, see, Michael Keaton hasn't done that kind of comedy in ages. He's got some comical sides still to him. And because I remember him, like, when he was working with Ron Howard and they're running a brothel in the morgue. That was my first introduction to Michael Keaton to me.
Yeah. Night Shift.
I think it's called Working Night Shift. Okay. Yeah. And then his comedy grew from that. Like he did Mr. Mom, I remember, and Beetlejuice was excellent. Tim Burton, that dude was a total genius in his own way. Is he coming back to do the second one?
Yeah. According to this, it was expected to go under. The cameras are supposed to roll today, I guess. This was the 9th, and it says here tomorrow. So yeah.
I wonder because for the longest time, like another 48 hours, they were kicking around scripts. Top Gun was another one. They're kicking around scripts, but those scripts been floating around for years and years and years. So there was Tim Burton. Last time I remember him, they were asking, why did you only do one movie and would there ever be a sequel since we live in the world of sequels and prequels and all that? And he's like going, I still like original content. And, look what he did with, the Addams Family storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says Tim Burton reteams with Michael Keaton in this sequel to the cult hit from 1988, which made $75 million and further propelled Michael Keaton's star power, working with the filmmaker again for the role of Batman in '89. So,
yep.
Jenna Ortega from Wednesday looks like she's going to be in it, and Mike Alfred. How do you say that? Go.
I won't hurt my throat.
I think didn't he do Batman?
Gotta use your Klingon voice.
Oh. Yeah, but as long as
they don't screw it up.
Yeah, well, and as long as they stay safe and keep Alec Baldwin away from anybody on the set.
Why, you don't like Alec Baldwin?
Well, he has a tendency to shoot people. So,
hey, it's like working with Mel Gibson. People's got this persona now, and they were talking about doing another Lethal Weapon movie too. Danny Glover's on the sidelines. He's agreed to it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Mel Gibson's gonna direct, and they say it's a favor to Richard Donner, who has passed away.
Unfortunately, he was a great dude. I mean, we got so many good hits out of him, and he knew what he was doing.
So what are your favorites? Oh
man, there's too many. I mean, I I can't say. There's just too many. We will go into a 5-hour show. We start that rabbit hole.
So, what was the first Richard Donner film you saw?
Man, I don't know. Because I read a lot of videos at Blockbuster. Because a lot of stuff that, I wasn't going to the theater for a while because I was working too much. Blockbuster, I would just get off work. Because I worked for Bell South at the time, and I was working 5 days a week. Then the weekends, I was, having fun. But at the early mornings, I was working with the radio station. So my time was all over the place. So videos, I would go to Blockbuster and pull videos and watch them. So I didn't know who he was originally until after seeing, like a homage of him. Like when he died, they were showing a whole bunch of movies. So like, he did that? Damn, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
He did a lot of stuff, but I can't recall it, my first one because I was watching a Richard Donner film before I knew who he was.
Superman.
Yeah. They actually redid that too, thinking about it. They had the original version the way he wanted it. And they had stuff.
Well, that was
he shot.
Superman 2.
Was that Superman 2?
Yeah, the Donner cut is Superman 2. But it ends kind of the same way with him spinning the world backwards. So
yeah, well, there's more stuff in between that they're worried about time. Because, if it makes a movie too long, people don't want to go see it.
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings. The people accepted that, though.
And what else did he do? Conspiracy Theory. Have you seen that one?
I
That
may
one's
have.
really
I don't
good.
remember. Okay.
Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts.
Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, because he did a lot, like the Goonies. He even worked on the Omen and Lady Hawk with Matthew Broderick, Maverick. He worked with Mel Gibson a lot. He did because he's had Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts. The Assassins. That's with Antonio Banderas and Arnold. Not Arnold. What's his name? Adrian Stallone.
Oh, Stallone. Stallone, yeah.
He did
Stone.
the Omen. He did the Omen series. He worked on the Omen original in '74 and '81. The Conflict. That was a cool movie. The Toy. Another movie I saw. Didn't know who he was behind that. X-Men. He has hand in that. Wolverine. Let me see here. This is something I didn't know. Bolero of Blood, which was based on the Crypt Keeper TV show. They started making those movies.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Bordello of Blood.
Bordello, thank you.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Corey Feldman was in there. Dennis Miller.
That was good.
I didn't know Dennis Miller was in there. I gotta watch that again.
Yeah,
I like that Crypt Keeper.
Bordello of Blood is pretty good. I was working at the Comac Multiplex when that movie was released. I like that one.
I wish I worked in the movie theater.
Who was the actress in that? That was some model. Was it? It wasn't Tawny Katane, was it?
She was. I didn't know. Let me see here.
Or was
Juliet Regan?
No.
She looks pretty hot. Let's see here. I'm just going by looks now. Hold on. Erica. I don't know how her last name is pronounced. Angie Everhart.
That's it. Angie Everhart. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what she is. She's not aging well. No, I'm joking.
Probably not. She's probably.
Oh, she was in Jade, and she's one in those seductress type movies.
Yeah.
Take Me Home Tonight.
There's a model at that time. Yeah, Angie Everhart. I think she did a couple of TV series too.
And she posed nude for Playboy in 2000.
Yes, but you can only look at those pictures after the show.
Last Action Hero. She was in that. Mad Dog Time. I'd never heard of that movie. Bittersweet. Yeah,
So
she's
is,
in a lot of those seductress movies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Something that you know used to be the Skinamax movie of the.
What are you talking about, sir? Never heard of that.
Oh no, you never had Skinamax.
We had basic cable growing up, so I wasn't exposed to nothing. I was happy to see Gilligan's Island from Turner Network, that TBS. Give me a laugh.
Now,
I want to see
did you
Gilligan's Island
guys-
again.
Did you guys down here in Texas? We had a channel up in New York. This is before cable.
Oh, is it like a
took
PBS
over.
channel? Like
No, it was called WHT.
so it's a local network then.
It was broadcast.
Mhm.
It was like a cable channel that was broadcast on UHF.
Yeah,
So you
to
had
work extra
to-
with the rabbit ears.
You had to use that second, the second dial on your
You had to
TV
push in and yeah.
that you never turned before because you have to switch the switch from VHF to UHF, and then you use that other dial that has the 50 through 100 channels.
And
in
you have
that-
to tweak it. I mean, you can't move it too much because you can miss a channel, but boop, like literally.
Right, you'd have to turn that little dial inside the dial for the fine tuning. And WHT was called what I think it was like Watemco Home Theater.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the company name, and they shortened it to WHT. And it was like one of those that I guess because it was on UHF that went Nudiville after midnight. I think.
It
think
sounds
that
like
was it.
PBS. PBS could get away with stuff after hours. Like
Yeah,
I would
but
watch.
mean,
I would watch Benny Hill and Marty Python back to back as a kid.
Yeah,
Channel
well,
9.
and
My mom would be like going, "Here, check out Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street." And later on, that, hey, what's this Benny Hill guy? Hey, there's a chick running around half naked.
that's when you're watching PBS at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and mom walks in the room and like, what are you doing? What are you watching? Mom, it's PBS. I'm learning about Africa.
I know for me, I got my mom because she let me watch PBS because it's an educational channel. That's where you got your, like I said, your Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and Gumby and all that. But what happened was I got into Marty Python, and the first skit I saw was the parrot skit, and man, I was like, "What's this Marty Python?" And it was the Flying Circus. And now the beginning was cartoony,
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember. Okay, I'm going to come back to that because I was flipping the channel to try to find something to watch. I went back up to PBS again, and they did the parrot sketch. And that was the first time I got fully exposed to Marty Python's humor. And man, I was hooked. I said, these guys are hilarious.
Well, I used to watch Benny Hill on Channel 9, which was WOR in New York.
Is that
it
the
would come
public
on-
access show?
No, it was
In New
not
York?
public access. It was it was broadcast out of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And they would play, I saw a post somewhere that said it was 11:30 p.m., but I could swear that it was 11 o'clock.
Hmm.
And then something else came on at 11:30. Because I thought it was 11 o'clock for Benny Hill, and then 11:30 might have been the Paul Hogan show.
Paul Hogan? Like the guy from Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan?
Yeah. He did a Benny Hill type show.
Really?
It's hilarious.
I got
You got to
see if I got Google that and look on YouTube.
Well, it's on
That's
YouTube.
around.
There's a couple of episodes on YouTube, and it's is Benny Hill, but basically just about drinking beer. It is great. That's why.
And you watched
that's why
that as a kid?
I watched that as a kid. I loved the Paul Hogan show.
I gotta check it out.
Paul Hogan was awesome.
Now,
But,
there's supposed to have been a Crocodile Dundee movie that was supposed to have his son. Like they're doing it was supposed to be like what happened after his wife and them settled down in New York, and then they had a son going back because they went back to Australia at the end of the third film, right?
The
LA one, yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
And so that was about his son following in his footsteps, and it had a comedian. I can't remember.
Oh, right. Yeah, that did come out. Yeah.
It did?
Yeah, I think it was what's his name? Riley? Was it John C. Riley?
He's a hilarious dude. I remember him in stand up, and he did a show. I can't remember if it's for HBO or not, about oh man. I can't remember. Let me see here.
Let's see. I'm looking it up on IMDb. It's called The Very Excellent Mr. Dundee.
Oh, so it's out for I can watch it then?
Came out in 2020. Paul Hogan is reluctantly thrust back into the spotlight as he desperately attempts to restore his sullied reputation on the eve of being knighted. And who is in it?
Well, they got Wayne Knight. He's a funny dude. John Cleese is in there. Chevy Chase. Paul Hogan, of course. I wonder if that chick who played his wife came back.
No, because I think
Olivia Newton-John's in there? I didn't know this. They had a good cast.
Yeah, I don't think she's
Luke
in it
Hemsworth,
because
one of the Hemsworth brothers are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Nate.
Yeah, I think he plays the kid.
Really?
I think so.
I thought the kid was played by that comedian I was thinking about. I don't see his picture though. Maybe something else I was thinking about. But I knew they were doing a follow-up. Yeah, the Very Excellent Mr. Dundee. Great cast. I gotta watch it. But the sad thing is, you can't watch it stream. You gotta pay $3.99 for it. Watch options: Google Play, Apple TV, Redbox, Vudu. I can never get that right.
Vudu.
Amazon Prime. Was it Vudu? Or Vudu?
Vudu, yeah.
Vudu.
You know, the thing that you stick pins in.
I think a few chicks have that. They have the trailer. Too bad we can't play it. Probably get dinged for it, huh?
Well, I'm gonna go for it.
It's Lionsgate's. The trailers under Lionsgate. Do you see that? It's the first one on top. Okay, let's see that. Let's check it out. I haven't watched it, so.
Let me just put this out there. This is a trailer reaction.
There you go.
Trailer reaction. We're not stealing anything. The Very Excellent Mr. Dundee from 2020.
And it's approved for all audience. This is good. PG-13. I can't hear it. Can you?
Let me turn down the quality a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't hear. I can't hear nothing, dude. Can you start over?
Yeah, I love Paul Hogan. To me, is one of the funniest. Yeah, that looks like a good one.
Yeah, the audio didn't work out. My
You didn't hear anything?
audio.
Should have been playing.
We'll find out in the playback here after the live broadcast, but I just saw pictures, no audio. Then again,
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you can imagine. It was pretty good.
It looked good. And I wonder if that's Lou Newton-John's last movie, because not too long ago she died, didn't she?
Yeah, she's no longer with us.
Yeah,
So
you
if
could buy
that
it
was,
for you could buy it for $10 in Voodoo Land in high definition for $10, $9.99. I think I'll go buy it. Because I like the other movies. I own all the other ones, so I'm a completist sometimes when it comes to movies.
right. Well, I wrote I don't know if I ever told you that I wrote a Dundee movie.
Did
It's kind of the same thing, but instead of
Are you
going
saying they
back to
ripped you off, man?
you know, you never know. Because
Did you get copyrighted?
no, of course
Filed
not.
to the Library of Congress?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
I don't trust Congress. They probably would have stole it. But
No, that's where,
yeah,
that's
it
where
was,
you that's where you copyright
it
all
was
your stuff, man, to get
a,
paid.
it was
The
a
daggers.
reporter. A reporter goes to look for Mick Dundee, and he tracks him down in the desert of Texas. You know, living out in the middle
How
of
did he go from
nowhere.
Australia to Texas? How'd you write
Well, he
that
was in
one?
Los Angeles the last time, and he didn't want to go back home because
Okay.
you know all his friends were gone back home. You know, Nugget and Dunk, and they were all gone, and he was alone and just surviving in the Texas desert. And a reporter hunted him down, and it turns out that the reporter was actually a food reporter who was there to do a report on like barbecue, like Aaron's, you know, Franklin barbecue or something like that.
Yeah.
And he had heard somebody over speaking that, hey, you know, I saw this weird guy living in the desert, had some, you know, Australian accent and a huge knife, and you know, didn't want help. I thought he was stranded. And then the reporter just remembers that, you know, Crocodile Dundee, and goes to hunt for him and finds him. And basically what it is kind of like a memory, like a flashback movie where Paul Hogan is reliving some of his adventures. And then we get a guy that looks like Crocodile Dundee, or, you know, is an actor that can do Crocodile Dundee. And it actually turns out that the book became a movie, and the flashbacks were actually scenes from the movie.
And you wrote this after the first movie or the second one?
After the third one.
Third one. Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to see Paul Hogan again. You know, it was one of those guys that I missed seeing, making me laugh, and I wanted to. You know, I
Yeah.
felt bad for all the situations that he was in and things that happened to him in his life, and I wanted him to come back.
I wonder why because I saw somewhere, I like to say it's a Super Bowl commercial, where his son came back, or unless it's one of those spoof commercials like the Ferris Bueller one they did for Super Bowl. So I don't know. But the other one I saw the Super Bowl commercial, it was his son coming back, but it had a comedian in there that he's been in a lot of movies, not a lot, but enough movies where you recognize him. I just can't remember his name. But yeah, I want to see this movie. And get to work on your movie. You got to get your movie out there, man.
I can't because the writers are on strike and I can't write anything.
You're striking with the writers.
You know what? I was supposed to write a Mother's Day card. Writers are on strike, so I cannot write my Mother's Day card.
But, sir, you can because you have AI.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's part of the bargain is no AI. So there's one more thing I wanted to go over, and I found this thing today. I was watching a podcast on YouTube with I don't know if you watch Heel versus Babyface. He does a thing Hot Toys where he talks about collectibles, and he had Robert Meyer Burnett on, and they were, you know who Robert Meyer Burnett is?
If I see his face, I'll probably remember. I'm bad with names.
So he was talking about collectibles and stuff that they pre-ordered. And they actually said today on the, I guess it was 2 or maybe it was 4 days ago that this was it 2 days. Maybe it was Monday. What's day? Wednesday? Yeah. So it might've been Monday that they did this episode and they were talking about Star Trek and they had both pre-ordered this.
Yeah, they did. That same company did the original Star Trek Captain's Chair, but that company who does all these, that's high end stuff. You're paying hundreds. Well, look, there you go. Final amount.
Yeah,
$200 for a chair that's like a size for a doll.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
a lot of money. But it makes
so,
sound effects and stuff. If it's like the one, the first one, the original series one, there's audio chip in there. That's the one I was talking about. They have Kirk, Spock, and Damir Mirasulu there. Neat. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just starting expensive,
really neat
man.
Stuff. Huh?
It's detailed, but it's expensive, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'd ever be able to afford it.
Nah, I've watched. There's a lot of companies out there just making high-end figures, and Sylvester Stallone was about the smart one of the bunch who actually has his own, company that's making his own figures, and they're high-end too. He just released the Rambo and the Rocky and all that. And I think Clint Eastwood partnered up with another company, and they were doing the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly series, and his Dirty Harry series. It's like anything that Clint Eastwood was in, they're making a doll of it. But man, it's expensive. Oh, look, you got Deep Space Nine there.
I mean, the work detailed. On the, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's a miniature
it looks like him.
Version
it's very rare that you find a doll that looks like the person it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but this is not like Kenner here. They're taking these 3D. They're not molding for the mass productions. These are very highly detailed figures, and that's the reason why you pay. Look at this, $205 plus shipping, and they want $20 deposit to make sure you're in on it. Pre-order ended. Yeah. That company EXO, I've been watching them for years, and they do great work, but they're just so darn expensive.
I want to find somewhere that does ships, because that's what I like.
Eagle Moss, I've been following them for a few years. I got their the Battlestar Galactica original series Viper and the Cylon Raider. Those were based off the designs from the models they used in the TV show and the movie. But they got the new stuff too. But Eagle Moss, you want to go look at some detailed ships? Go to eaglemoss.com. They have Star Trek stuff too. Master Replica. Now I have the Han Solo 2006 Comic-Con. I have that of theirs. That's another high-end market company that does detailed. Master Replicas did details from Lucasfilms. The Darth Vader helmet was one of them. They took all the designs and they scanned them in the computer and they make those. And I got the Barbie and Ken Star Trek ones. You're just Googling, aren't you? Or is that a website?
Is a website. This is Master Replicas.
Yeah, Master Replicas.
And that's not a bad price, $52.
No, they're very reasonable, but they're miniature sometimes. You gotta watch the size because Han Solo blaster. They do a big version which runs for about $1,000 of the Han Solo blaster. Then they did a whole bunch of these smaller ones for the Comic-Cons, and it's literally like that big. I have a box it somewhere. It's actually one of the items I'm having a hard time parting with, but it's there on my Collector's Zone store. And the price is right for someone who wants it. They give me what I want. They get that 2006 Comic-Con. And you can only get it only at Comic-Con. So, but it's a Master Replica as well.
Yeah, so that's a pretty neat stuff if he had the money. Like, I was watching it and they like, oh, he's, Az is from England. So he's like,
yeah.
Like, right, so I just dropped 500 quid. He bought like 3 things. He pre-ordered some stuff. And I was just like, my gosh. He says he's got a container, full storage container full of collectibles. And it's just to be able to say, oh, I like that. I think I'm going to drop 500 quid today. First
That's
off,
a lot of money, man.
I was like, what the heck is a quid?
It's their equivalent to $1, I think.
Something like that.
But it's different value, though. I think the quids could be more or less than $1. I'm not 100% how that works. But I do remember the like a shilling, from where did I hear that from? Oh, the Christmas movie. I remember that Christmas movie, the Scrooge, give him a shilling for a duck. I think it was a duck. Turkey, whatever.
Yeah, and then there's the pound and whatever. So
yeah.
Well, I wanted to also get into Fan Expo and
we
Retro
never got
Expo.
around to that.
We started talking about toys and Temptation Island. It was a weird one tonight. Just chit-chatting.
We'll have to do for the next episode. We have to talk about the expos because that's something, John, that as a kid growing up, I had that experience with the. It was not really a Star Trek, Comic Con kind of thing. It was just up and coming back in the '80s, and hanging out with you at those expos. It was a lot of fun. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about what's coming up soon, but also relive some of our past fun times.
Yeah, and maybe I can, because I know Retro Expo is September, but I'm sure he's got. I'm sure Scott has got. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a bunch of them in the pipeline. Whether it be, what else does he do? It does retro. Is it retro? He does all
kinds. Dude, if it's having to do with collectibles and movies and TV shows, he's doing something with, and the artists too. I mean, I noticed that Scott, who does the Star Wars stuff, that worked for Lucas, as you found out in one of my videos, he is following with him, like the fans. So it's kind of cool. You get some of the artists to return because that way, maybe at that one point in time you didn't get something, but you get home and like, oh man, I should have gotten it. Like that Princess Leia when I got the last time we were together.
Yeah.
I should have gotten it a little bit before, but I didn't. Yeah, dude. Let's do that next show. If you guys
So we'll go over the Fan Expo from what's coming up, because that's next month in June. End of June is the Fan Expo.
And it's cool. The two that we went to or one of those.
Two. We went to two.
Yeah, they were cool.
Then I went last year. Was last year your last one?
We spent the last Retro Expo together. I think that was the last one we hung out at. And they had the Speed Racer car there, if I remember right.
Yeah. So we got Retro Expo in September. We got Fan Expo Dallas in June. And then probably December will be another Fan Fest. I did that one last year. That one was pretty good. It was a little bit smaller than Fan Expo. But
yeah, I got an email here from the Dallas Fan Expo Dallas. They were saying
they just added Peter Weller.
Yeah, they got have a lot. They got a lot of voice actors. This last email is about voice actors. But I get emails about the people that are coming to the expo, and they're slowly leaking all the cool stuff. Yeah. Chevy Chase and Christy Brinkley's the ones I would really like to see.
Christy Brinkley and Chevy Chase.
And the Truckster.
Hopefully the Truckster's there, because that's what I would
No,
want.
it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there.
That's what I would want to get a picture of, is the family Truckster.
I love those movies, man.
That's the car I like. It's one of my blows the Batmobile out of the water. So you think you hate it now, wait till you drive it.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
All right. Well, thanks for those of you who tuned in tonight. We really appreciate your time. Jeff, what do you got coming up? You got a brand new channel. You want to crack the shell on that and tell us what you're going to be doing on your new channel?
Well, do you want to bring up the little coming soon? It's the channel is called the Party Arcade 77. And I put out there just this morning the video announcing the channel. So type in the Party Arcade and then -77. There it is. I think you can click that thing on once it loads bigger. Or you can click on the video below it.
Let's see. I don't know if I shared audio.
I didn't hear the trailer for Paul Hogan, so I don't know.
Let me start. Excuse me. Let me start again.
Don't get choked up, man.
Yes, I'm so upset. But what are you going to be doing on the channel?
Well, that's something that, I'm at a crossroads. I want to do two things on that channel. But right now, I just can't get into which one because I'm not 100% yet. But it's, of course, going to be related to video games. It's called the Party Arcade 77 because in 1977 was the first time I was exposed to the arcade, as far as I can remember back. Right about the same time, Atari was hot and coming out. I remember playing video games from the Atari. So 77 had a big impact on me. Of course, that's when Star Wars came out too. So A lot of cool stuff was happening in 1977, but the Party Arcade 77 is going to be all about video games, of classic arcade games, new and old.
All right. So hope we don't get whacked for whatever music you're playing.
Okay, do your announcement. This is a reaction video.
This is a reaction video. Please don't whack us.
They're worse than Disney.
I don't think anybody's worse than Disney,
You get that dart in the neck.
except
Talk
my
too much
internet
about Iron
provider.
Man, man.
All right. Well, we get the idea.
Well, you can watch. Go to John's going to have on the bottom a link to the new channel. I'm highly grateful for what I call my OGs. That's what happened with the Collector Zone, and it grew to a wonderful thing. So this hopefully is something that you enjoy as much as I do. I have a passion for, arcade games and video games, and that's where my passions lie. And of course, you can catch every Sunday. I'll have, the Collector Zone live stream show, and we talk about all kinds of cool stuff. And so hopefully you enjoy the first 2 episodes that dropped. And this Sunday, I got another one.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for being here, Jeff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen and of the jury, we thank you for your time. And we will catch you
On the next one. Layers.
Highlight your Memorial Day weekend with a special cookout and stock up on everything you need at Winn-Dixie.
Start with juicy WD brand steaks like these. Buy U.S. Choice boneless Delmonico steaks for just $2.99 a pound.
If a store is to make a profit in the face of today's stiff competition, everyone in it must give his full effort. But like any battle,
In Japan, the hand can be used like a knife. But this method doesn't work with a tomato. That's why we use the ginsu.
Give up my Atari?
My television?
How about for this?
You bet your asteroid.